Chapter 1431, Wild Goo Come. Legend says there was a river in this world, known as the River of Time. It flowed through the past, the present, and the future. Everything in the world was like fish in the river, and under the currents, the fish could only flow downwards. Without the River of Time, the world would be still, becoming a drawing. Only with this river can change occur, and the world can move, either prospering or withering. I am in the River of Time again. Fang Yuan sighed. He looked around. The river was huge and wide. Even though it was called the River of Time, it was as vast as the sea in the darkness of this space. A huge river was flowing unceasingly. The river water was pale white, but countless ripples were colliding and creating beautiful colors at all times. The lights were dazzling and reflecting off Fang Yuan's face. Fang Yuan was dazed for a moment before recovering. He opened his immortal aperture's entrance and let out the immemorial year monkey. Okay. This huge beast returned to its home. It was very excited. Plop! It landed in the river water and created a huge splash. Fang Yuan also turned into an ancient year monkey. He was much smaller than the immemorial year monkey. He was floating in the air now as he was not a true year beast. Even though his transformation path Dao marks had turned into time path Dao marks for him to adapt to this place, it was better to not touch the water of the River of Time if he could. Let's go, Fang Yuan ordered. As the immemorial year monkey started to swim, the benefit of beating it earlier was showing. It was much more obedient than the upper extreme heavenly eagle. However, even though he used 180 slaves, because Fang Yuan's soul foundation had fallen greatly, it was quite hard to control this immemorial year monkey. Even though we are in a peaceful situation now, the enslavement is already difficult. My soul feels very heavy. If we are in intense battle, I may not be able to order the immemorial year monkey. Fang Yuan was alerted inwardly. This was a flaw, but there was no helping it. Fang Yuan had done his best. They moved on quietly. Swish, swish, swish. Tides continued to crash. Fang Yuan was here for the first time using his physical body. The last few times, he used spring-autumn cicada to send his will into the river. Because of influences like heaven's will, he only had a glimpse of the River of Time. He could not observe it in full. But now, he had an eye-opening experience. The River of Time was a secluded domain of heaven and earth. It was widely known and was inside the legends of Renzu, but to enter with one's physical body, they had to be immortal experts with deep time path foundation. Fang Yuan could enter even though he lacked that because of transformation path, as well as Purple Mountain True Monarchs and Hei Fan's inheritances. The River of Time was not without life. Fang Yuan first saw a couple of wild year goo chasing each other before entering the river water again. Next, he saw groups of wild time path goo worms flying in the sky. They were like countless flies. 5 to 6 wild year goo approached Fang Yuan and quietly landed on him without moving anymore. So that's it. Fang Yuan's thoughts shifted as he realized why he was now an ancient year monkey, because of rank 8 attitude goo and familiar face. While goo could not discern his aura, they treated him as a wild ancient year monkey. These few time path mortal goo were all attracted to Fang Yuan's time path Dao marks. They felt that it was the best place to live. So they went to him. It was indeed so that in nature, goo worms were fragile. Even though wild goo worms could absorb the natural essence of heaven and earth, they were still in danger even if they had strong abilities. Thus, living in strong life forms was their way of survival. Fang Yuan moved for a few minutes and already had several hundred wild mortal goo in him. Most were day goo and month goo. There were no year gu.as for the immemorial year monkey. It had greater gains. This immemorial year monkey had wild mortal goo in it, but they were destroyed when fighting Fang Yuan. There were few left, and now they were greatly replenished. The immemorial year monkey was naturally more attractive than Fang Yuan. It was very popular with the wild time path mortal goo. As it swam in the river, swarms of time path goo worms surrounded it like a black cloud. But this situation only lasted for a moment before slowing down rapidly. Like how beasts occupied territories. When Fang Yuan and the immemorial year monkey had a large number of wild mortal goo on them, other mortal goo would feel that it was crowded and stop coming to them. Fang Yuan thought about it. He did not do anything to these wild mortal goo. With his current capabilities, it was easy for him to refine these wild mortal goo. However, that would ruin Fang Yuan's disguise. Furthermore, these wild time path mortal goo were nothing special. Unless they were immortal goo, they had little attraction to Fang Yuan. Roar. While they were traveling, an ancient year tiger emerged from the water, but it left without even pausing, escaping far away. This situation had happened many times. The immemorial year monkey was simply like an express pass on their journey. In fact, other than year beasts, there were also month beasts and day beasts. Similar to year beasts, they fed on month goo and day goo respectively. After 2 hours, the river of time was still turbulent while darkness surrounded them. The scenery had not changed. It was almost as if everyone was still at the same spot where they started. Half the body of an immemorial year monkey was submerged in the water, moving forward slowly like a floating hill. As for Fang Yuan, he turned into an ancient year monkey and floated in the air above the river, moving slowly. Fang Yuan was certain, because he had Purple Mountain True Monarch's inheritance, the feeling in his heart intensified. As long as he followed this feeling, he would definitely find that Red Lotus True inheritance that spectral soul demon Venerable obtained. The thing that obstructed him other than the treacherous river of time was Heavenly Court's pursuit and ambush. Rumble. Suddenly, with a loud sound, a current shot out of the raging river of time. The current shot out towards the left of Fang Yuan, in front of him. Growling. The immemorial year monkey growled as a hint of seriousness showed on its relaxed face. This is a sudden spring. Fang Yuan's pupils shrunk slightly. The river of time was not safe. Some river segments were very dangerous with many uncertainties. Sudden springs were one of them. When traveling in this river segment, one had to be wary of suddenly rising springs. If they are hit by it, a vast number of time path down marks would be carved on the target. They might suffer heavy injuries or die. They might even lose lifespan. Fang Yuan vigilantly moved towards the immemorial year monkey's head. He lacked methods to deal with sudden springs. He could only use this immemorial year beast's tough body to resist it. They had to cross this river. It was necessary to get to Red Lotus True inheritance. Just when Fang Yuan was fully focused on traveling in the river, near the tributary of the River of Time in Western Desert, 3 Gu Immortals arrived. 1 Rank 7 Gu Immortal with great elegance, and 2 Rank 8 Gu Immortals that were stable like mountains. It was Feng Jiugo, as well as the 2 Rank 8 Gu Immortals from Heavenly Court. Fairy Ziwei's plan was to find Red Lotus True inheritance using Fang Yuan as the key. Now that Fang Yuan had entered the River of Time to obtain Red Lotus True inheritance, she was definitely going to send people after him. To think this otherworldly demon is so powerful, he could actually fight Brother Feng evenly. With our help, no matter how talented he is, he cannot escape. The 2 Rank 8 Gu Immortals had not met up with Feng Jiuge for a long time, and he was not someone who would conceal information for the sake of reputation. He directly explained Fang Yuan's sharp rise in battle strength to them. If we work together, we should be able to kill Fang Yuan. Feng Jiuge nodded slightly. Fang Yuan's battle strength was similar to his. Against 1 Rank 8 Gu Immortal, it would be barely enough. Against 2, it would be extremely difficult. Especially now, Feng Jiuji's chaotic heart-drumming sound was modified by Fairy Ziwei again. It was the trump card to deal with Fang Yuan. These are dream realms. A moment later, Feng Jiugu and the rest could not help but land, looking helplessly at the dream realm defensive line. It seems we can only wait. The dream realms move constantly. A gap will appear in the defense soon. We will be able to enter. Other than us, Lord Huangshi is in the River of Time. He is the person most skilled with fighting in the River of Time for the last 10,000 years. Fang Yuan is not his match. The 3 immortals discussed, deciding to stay and wait for an opportunity in the River of Time. Jarrrrrrr. The immemorial year monkey growled. Its body was covered in injuries. Fang Yuan turned around. Looking at the river segment behind him, he felt a little fearful. Thankfully, the immemorial year monkey is here to defend me. Otherwise, how could we get past this place so easily? The sudden springs had great power. They had at least rank 7 killer move strength, with most being rank 8. Fang Yuan even saw a sudden spring that had rank 9 power. The eruption of this sudden spring was like a huge waterfall that flowed upwards towards heaven. Thankfully, Fang Yuan was far from it when it burst out. He was safe. The immemorial year monkey is quite injured, but my methods are limited. I cannot heal it. Fang Yuan inspected and mentally sighed. Other paths healing methods were restricted here. In terms of time path methods, Fang Yuan only had man as before, but this immortal goo only worked on human bodies. Fang Yuan could only let the immemorial year monkey recover on its own. Should I stop for a moment and rest? For the immemorial year monkey to recover fully, Fang Yuan could not help but hesitate. The sudden springs were just the first hurdle to Red Lotus true inheritance. Fang Yuan still had to face the dark web spiders, one-finger flow sharks, and a special blade river segment. These three hurdles were more dangerous than the sudden springs. Sudden spring river segment? Lord Huang sure looked at the river in front of him as he frowned. According to Lady Ziwei, Fang Yuan is right ahead. Immediately after, Lord Huang Shi's eyes shined brightly as he flew towards the sudden spring river segment resolutely. Chapter 1432, Huang Shi's Pursuit. Chapter 1432, Huang Shi's Pursuit. Boom. A huge sudden spring burst out of the peaceful river surface. Compared to this sudden spring, Lord Huang Shi, who was flying in the air, resembled a tiny mosquito. Even before the sudden spring hit him, Lord Huang Shi felt like it was getting faster and faster. That was not true, of course. The sudden spring actually became slower as it got higher and higher. The reason why Lord Huang Shi felt that was because his own relative speed had fallen. This was the river of time. The eruption of sudden springs will cause everything around it to slow down. In that case, the target would find it harder to escape. Humph. Lord Huang Shi was not fazed. At the crucial moment, bright light shone from his head. The next instance, he was completely restored to normal condition as he retreated, causing the sudden spring to miss its target. Rumble. With another loud sound, the sudden spring crashed back into the river and created a huge wave. Lord Huang Shi wiped the sweat off his forehead. This sudden spring has the power of a rank 8 killer move, even. I have to be careful. If I got hit, I would suffer great injuries. If I encounter a rank 9 level sudden spring, I would definitely be gravely injured. I might even die. Lord Huang Shi felt pressured in his heart. Even though he was a rank 8 Gu immortal and had territorial advantage when fighting in the River of Time, he knew that Fang Yuan had luck path methods, and even a rather comprehensive all living beings luck true inheritance. Being at the sudden spring river segment, other than one's strength, one had to depend on their own luck. I am chasing after Fang Yuan now. This is not beneficial to him. According to the profundities of luck path, my journey will not be smooth. It will be filled with problems. Fang Yuan chose this route to trouble me. This is a good plan. However, Lord Huang Shi frowned, feeling doubts. No matter how lucky Fang Yuan is, he can't avoid all the sudden springs, right? Even if rank 9 sudden springs are rare, those rank 7 sudden springs are countless, and there are also many rank 8 sudden springs. How did he pass them? Did he use reverse flow protection seal the entire time? If he was using reverse flow protection seal, this would be great news to Lord Huang Shi, because this sudden spring river segment was very long. If Fang Yuan used his killer move the entire time, his immortal essence would be greatly expended. This would be helpful when Lord Huang Shi fights him later. Lord Huang Shi did not expect that Fang Yuan would enslave an immemorial year monkey to act as his shield. Even though Fang Yuan could control the upper extreme Heavenly Eagle, Heavenly Court attributed that to He Fan's true inheritance. Fang Yuan was controlling a rank 8 existence with rank 7 cultivation level. It was a shocking accomplishment, but the truth was 180 slaves, and years flow like water immortal Gu's flaw. Especially the latter, He Fan did not expose his own weakness. This secret was unknown to Heavenly Court. They could not deduce that Fang Yuan had a way to lure immemorial year beasts to him. Because of such reasons, Heavenly Court did not manage to learn that Fang Yuan could control an immemorial year beast. After a few minutes, Lord Huang Shi flew out of the sudden spring river segment. Fairy Ziwei's guidance was transmitted to him again. Lord Huang Shi changed directions, raising his speed as he flew towards Fang Yuan. A moment later, his figure paused as he looked ahead uncertainly. Dark web spider. Lord Huangshi had a grim expression as he muttered this. In front of him, there was a huge spider with a pale white body. It was unmoving on a huge web. The spider was larger than the sudden spring earlier. It was like a mountain. Its 4 limbs were like ridges. Compared to the spider, Lord Huangshi was tiny. He was like an ant in front of an elephant. Larger than the dark web spider was the huge web it was on. This huge web was made of a crystal-like substance. Some threads were thin, while others were thick like tree trunks. The web was not flat. It was weaved into a forest-like cage. Countless spider threads stabbed into the water of the river of time like roots. No matter how the water flowed, these threads remained stationary. A vast number of spider threads weaved together into a huge crystal nest. Each of the connectors had many complex threads linking to different directions. Lord Huangshi's heart sank. He did not dare to believe it. Fang Yuan and the rest managed to get past here to head to Red Lotus True Inheritance. He confirmed it again. Fairy Ziwei's directions were not wrong. This made him even more confident of his conjuncture now. Fang Yuan had designed this route to target him. Fang Yuan wants to use this dangerous place to force me to retreat. Lord Huangshi had a cold expression. He snorted before flying into the huge crystal nest. Each dark web spider was an immemorial desolate beast. They had their own territories in the river of time. In their territory, even immemorial desolate beasts would not dare to rampage. It was a predator at the top of the food chain. The dark web spider relies on its unimaginable great strength besides its huge body, as well as its sharp mouth and this crystal nest. Each crystal nest thread is extraordinary. Gu immortals of the past gave it a fanciful name. Used until today, peaceful time thread. Any rank 7 or below existence would be in a state of frozen time if they touched the thread. They cannot move and would end up being eaten by the dark web spider, which moves slowly towards it. For someone like Lord Huangshi, one single thread of peaceful time thread cannot affect him, but with 100 of them together, even he would be in grave danger. And in the entire crystal nest, how many peaceful time threads were there? Simply uncountable. Lord Huangshi moved very, very slowly. He carefully moved past each of the threads that had weaved into a web. He had thought of detouring this dangerous place to pursue Fang Yuan, but this way he would need to travel a long route. Fang Yuan would gain a lot of time instead. And what if this Red Lotus True Inheritance was inside the crystal nest to begin with? Thus, Lord Huangshi had to step into this dangerous place and pursue Fang Yuan. As long as I remain careful and avoid touching any peaceful time thread, I will be able to get through this safely. Lord Huangshi thought as a loud explosion occurred. There was incredible sound resembling the crashing of heaven and earth. The crystal web nest shook along with the loud sound waves. The dark web spider was alerted. Its 180 compound eyes stared at Lord Huangshi. Damn it. It must be Fang Yuan's trap. Lord Huangshi was furious, but he felt little shock. If he was Fang Yuan, he would have set the same trap against his enemies. Since I am able to get here, I have my assurance. I am able to get past this dangerous area while the dark web spider is alerted. With a cold snort, Lord Huangshi started to use his immortal killer move on the crystal threads. These crystal threads were not easy to destroy even though they were fragile, because any killer move would freeze in time as long as they got closer to the threads. Of course, against rank 8 killer moves, the peaceful time threads had an upper limit in terms of defense. Lord Huangshi started to act, using his rank 8 killer moves to attack the crystal threads at an increasingly fast speed. He was a time path great expert. He had effective methods against the peaceful time threads. Furthermore, that dark web spider moved slowly. It could not catch up to Lord Huangshi. Lord Huangshi did not want to fight the dark web spider. He had a huge responsibility on him. But his path of retreat was not smooth. There were often immortal killer moves, sound waves, frost, and flames obstructing him. Lord Huangshi's speed was greatly obstructed. He was eventually caught up by the spider as they fought intensely. Bam, bam, bam. After an intense battle, Lord Huangshi broke free from the dark web spider and left its territory. But now he was in a more sorry state than before. Not only was he covered in dust, he even suffered minor injuries. This damn Fang Yuan, how many traps did he set? And these traps all activate at the perfect timing. There is deep planning in this. Lord Huangshi suffered a loss. He was filled with rage. He would not let Fang Yuan off. He flew while he treated his injuries. Not long after, he entered a weird river segment. What is going on? I can feel a strong sword path and blade path aura in this river segment. Lord Huangshi was surprised as suspicion flashed on his face. He slowed down and observed. This river segment had permeating sword chi and blade light. Wait, don't tell me. This is... Lord Huangshi frowned. I traveled upstream towards the past. In terms of distance, I probably went back to 100,000 years ago. I am at the late antiquity era. Late antiquity era, sword path, blade path. I know. Western Desert Shi Yuan. This person cultivated sword path, created sword abyss, and killed 3 rank 8 Gu immortals. There is another blade path demonic immortal. He is known as Dao Jiu Lang. He had overwhelming demonic might. Rampaging in Western Desert, he managed to break the expulsion formation and shook the world. These two fought before. It was an intense fight that led to great destruction. Lord Huangshi used his investigative methods, and as expected, this segment of the river was affected by the battle between these 2 rank 8 great experts, causing this to become a blade river segment. It was more dangerous to get past here compared to the sudden spring river segment, because it was possible that Dao Jiu Lang's or Shi Yuan's immortal killer moves would suddenly appear and attack. When sudden springs occur, there is a process in their eruptions. But this blade river segment did not have that. Fang Yuan and the rest actually came here? Are they trying to die? Lord Huangshi gritted his teeth, entering. Since Fang Yuan and the rest could enter, as a rank 8 great expert, he could not back down. Fairy Ziwei guided him as Lord Huangshi got closer to his target. Roar. The immemorial year monkey fought in turbulent waves. It was covered in injuries. Blood was flowing as the surrounding area was dyed red on the immemorial year monkey. By Ning Bing, Fairy Miao Yin, and the rest were defending themselves. I finally found you all. Lord Huangshi's eyes shined brightly. He charged ahead without thinking. Chapter 1433. How shameless could it get? By Ning Bing and the rest were trapped in the Blade River segment. They could not escape. Lord Huangshi saw this great opportunity. How could he let it go? He had chased them along the way. He was extremely furious. Now that he saw his prey, he immediately pounced forth. Swish, swish, swish. The river of time had surging waves. Mixed within were sword chi and blade light, shooting towards the shadow sect immortals. Lord Huangshi was not exempted. He was taken care of by the sword chi and blade light, but his defensive methods were not weaker than shadow sex immortals. He had an easier time. Immortal killer move, Sun Moon Divine Shuttle. Lord Huangshi looked down as he pushed with both hands. Countless arrowhead shuttles shot out like a storm towards the shadow sect immortals. Enemy. Bai Ning Bing shouted to alert them. Sun Moon Divine Shuttle was very powerful. Even though Bai Ning Bing and the rest defended themselves, they were heavily suppressed by the killer move. Roar. This angered the immemorial year monkey. It growled as it exerted force in its lower body. Its entire body left the river water as it jumped towards the sky. Sun Moon Divine Shuttle landed on its body and created small bleeding holes. But for this huge immemorial year monkey, that was only a light wound. The huge monkey hands grabbed towards Lord Huangshi while whipping up fierce winds. Feeling this terrifying power, Lord Huangshi's eyelids twitched. He expressed shock on his face. This immemorial year monkey is the real deal. It is not Fang Yuan's transformation. They actually control a rank 8 battle strength like this immemorial year monkey. Lord Huangshi was not a strength path or transformation path Gu immortal. He was not good at close combat. Even though he was a heavenly court rank 8 Gu immortal, against the immemorial year monkey, he had to retreat. He moved rapidly, getting to an area far away in an instant. In here, there were dense time path down marks. He could fight with great strength. The immemorial year monkey missed and landed back into the river, but it growled and leaped again, jumping into the sky and attacking Lord Huangshi. Lord Huangshi's eyes shined brightly. He saw that the immemorial year monkey was covered in wounds. It was not in its best condition. But that was natural. The immemorial year monkey must have played a huge part for Fang Yuan and the rest to get here. It had likely lost 30 to 40% of its strength. In that case, Lord Huangshi's battle intent became firmer that he breathed in deeply and used another immortal killer move. Immediately, a yellow soil rock appeared above his head. The rock moved slowly. It made the time around Lord Huangshi move slowly too. Next, dust and sand emerged from the rock and landed on the immemorial year monkey in a flash. Affected by the yellow dust, the immemorial year monkey's rate of time reduced rapidly. It became slower and slower. The time it took to jump became much longer. Lord Huangshi saw this and let out a breath of air, feeling joyful that he was very confident in his method. As the dust accumulates, the immemorial year beast would get even slower at this rate. Lord Huangshi would control the situation very soon. But right at this moment, bam, a huge wave shot towards the sky, directly towards Lord Huangshi. From within the pale wave of the river of time, a strong blade light shot out with blinding light. The blade light landed on Lord Huangshi as his body shook. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Lord Huangshi was injured. The dust and sand shook as the immemorial year monkey struggled from within. Lord Huangshi quickly held his breath and used his immortal killer move more intensely, making the dust thicker to trap the immemorial year monkey. Bai Ningbing and the rest used their methods to unleash frost, flames, and sound waves on the immemorial year monkey. But they could not affect this sand and dust in the river of time. Time path life forms were greatly strengthened. Bai Ningbing and the rest were weaker than Lord Huangshi to begin with. Due to these time path down marks, their battle strength was even lower than usual. The crucial moment. Ing Wuxie's expression turned grim. He was about to use the invincible lead soul into dream. But at this moment, Ing Wuxie lost his target that he could not sense the existence of Lord Huangshi. Lead soul into dream needs to sense the other party to activate. Otherwise, it is useless. This Lord Huangshi already has a way to hide from my soul path senses. Oh, the defensive killer move that Lady Ziwei gave me activated he. Lord Huangshi snickered coldly. The moment Ing Wuxie wanted to use lead soul into dream, he had a feeling. Even though lead soul into dream was powerful, it had flaws too. It was not a perfect killer move. Fairy Ziwei sent Lord Huangshi on this mission alone to pursue Fang Yuan and the rest. She naturally had measures against lead soul into dream. After all, Heavenly Court had suffered greatly from it. People learn from their mistakes, not to mention Fairy Ziwei from Heavenly Court. Lord Huangshi came prepared. Lead soul into dream could not be used. Oh no. Ing Wuxie and the rest had a change of expression. They felt strong pressure in their hearts. They could not salvage the situation. They could only rely on Fang Yuan now. But where was Fang Yuan? Lord Huangshi considered this problem. He had thought that this immemorial year monkey was Fang Yuan's transformation to scare him. But after fighting, he realized it was a real immemorial year monkey. Since the battle started, Fang Yuan had not shown up. He who possessed reverse flow protection seal and had battle strength equal to Feng Jiugu was the biggest target that Lord Huangshi was wary of now. The longer Fang Yuan stayed hidden, the more alert he felt. Fang Yuan, you're still not coming out? If you wait any longer, Lord Huangshi was shocked at this moment. A huge wave from the river of time swept towards him. Again, Lord Huangshi was stifled. This huge wave avoided the immemorial year monkey and came after him instead, time and again. His luck was too horrible. Rumble. The huge wave hit Lord Huangshi as he spat out blood once more, increasing the severity of his injuries that he could not dodge. Not only because he was using this immortal killer move, but also because the wave slowed time when it approached. Even if he dodged the water, he could not dodge the sword chi and blade light that were incredibly fast. Lord Huangshi chose to resist the wave, to find a chance to capture the immemorial year monkey, Bai Ningbing, and the rest. Right now, I have the advantage. I don't believe that Fang Yuan will continue to watch. Lord Huangshi made up his mind. Swish, swish, swish. 3 waves swept towards Lord Huangshi. What? At me again. Instantly, Lord Huangshi stared with wide eyes. He wanted to scream. Normally speaking, the huge immemorial year monkey would have a higher chance of getting hit by the waves. But since the battle started, only Lord Huangshi had gotten hit by them. Their luck is too good? Not a single wave hit them. Wait. Lord Huangshi shook. Is this the effect of Fang Yuan's luck path methods? He thought of a possibility. Even so, luck path cannot change the outcome of this battle. Luck path is suppressed in here to begin with. It is impossible for Fang Yuan to manipulate the waves here using luck path. Only supreme time path methods can do it. I have the territorial advantage here. Lord Huangshi calmed down as he continued to suppress the immemorial year monkey by Ning Bing and the rest, forcing Fang Yuan to show up. Lord Huangshi fell for it. This is like what sect leader predicted. Let's continue attacking. Don't expose any flaws. Bai Ning Bing and the rest had grim expressions, but they were conversing secretly at the same time. On an island deep under the river, the image was moving in front of Fang Yuan. It was displaying the scene of Lord Huangshi fighting against the immemorial year monkey. This was a stone lotus island, the one on which spectral soul demon Venerable had obtained the red lotus true inheritance. Fang Yuan had arrived here long ago. The investigative killer move used by Fairy Ziwei on Fang Yuan had been removed already. As for Bai Ning Bing and the rest, even though there was the self-cleansing immortal formation, they could not make it in time that if he brought them, Fang Yuan's traces would be exposed. Even inside the sovereign immortal aperture, they would be found out. It was like Fang Yuan using Qi Luck sensation to find out the locations of Ying Wu Xie and the rest. They could not escape even if they went into the immortal aperture. Even though immortal apertures were small worlds isolated from the outside world, if there were clues inside the immortal aperture, deductions were still possible. Fang Yuan could do it. Fairy Ziwei could too. And so could Heaven's Will. As long as Heaven's Will was in the immortal aperture, the Heaven's Will in the 5 regions and 2 heavens would be able to sense Fang Yuan's location. Fang Yuan learned about this long ago. Even though it was a weakness, in Fang Yuan's perspective, he could make use of it. He used Ying Wu Xie and the rest to deceive Fairy Ziwei, so that Lord Huangshi underestimated Fang Yuan's actual distance traveled. Even though it was nothing much, after getting Red Lotus True Inheritance, Fang Yuan could use this advantage to its limit. That's right. Red Lotus True Inheritance had the ability to manipulate the nearby river segment. In fact, this Blade River segment was purposely chosen by Red Lotus Demon Venerable, but when this ability was used, it would expend the Stone Lotus Island's foundation. After this battle, the tattered Stone Lotus Island would break apart entirely. Spectral Soul's Will, let me lend you a hand. Fang Yuan looked at Spectral Soul's will. It was thin and had a hard time controlling the waves, thus he helped. Immediately, a huge amount of will gushed out and entered Spectral Soul's will. Spectral Soul's will became strengthened and growled at the same time. A huge wave appeared on the battlefield. This. Lord Huangshi's eyeballs were almost popping out. The size of this huge wave was unprecedented. The blade light and sword chi inside had not shot out yet. But Lord Huangshi also felt a strong threat to his life. Lord Huangshi gritted his teeth. Even though this colossal wave would hit him, it would also implicate the immemorial year monkey and force out Fang Yuan. I will see who can last longer. Lord Huangshi was thinking of that, when suddenly, a small part of the wave split to allow the immemorial year monkey to pass through before it headed towards Lord Huangshi entirely. What? Lord Huangshi was about to scream in anger. How shameless could it get? Chapter 1434, Huangshi's Death. Rumble. The enormous wave moved past the immemorial year monkey, encircling and attacking Lord Huangshi. Lord Huangshi's heart instantly chilled at that moment. He was a heavenly court Gu immortal, an elite among rank 8 experts. Right now, he finally realized it. Fang Yuan and these people can actually control this river segment? He was immensely shocked. This meant the scene of the immemorial year monkey being trapped in the Swordblade River segment before was a trap. And he had entered headfirst into the trap and was still unaware of it during the earlier fight. As far as Lord Huangshi was concerned, this was humiliating. But how is it possible? Fang Yuan might have inherited He Fan's true inheritance, but he still should not have the ability to control a segment of the River of Time. This was what Lady Ziwei had deduced. Shock gradually disappeared as suspicions rose in Lord Huangshi's mind. As the giant wave approached him, countless thoughts emerged in his mind. This might be the power of Red Lotus true inheritance. Only a person like Red Lotus Demon Venerable could use methods to control a segment of the River of Time. Seeing that the giant towering wave was already before him, Lord Huangshi's expression turned resolute. Never mind. I shall let you all know my Lord Huangshi's true power. Ah! Lord Huangshi suddenly roared towards the sky. Countless goo worm auras emerged from his body. Yellow lights were continuously shining on his body. His bald head shone and sparkled. The large yellow soil rock above his head enlarged and turned into a hill, suppressing the water of the river of time. His aura turned deep and unfathomable. Under his gaze, the river wave gradually returned to its original state, at the same time. Countless ripples of time jumped out of his body and moved towards Bai, Ning Bing, and the rest, with seemingly slow speed but actually being really fast. The anger in his heart together with the dangerous situation caused Lord Huangshi to erupt with his full strength. Amazing. He activated at least 4 immortal killer moves in an instant. Fang Yuan's heart jolted at such a sight. Since Lord Huangshi could obtain Fairy Ziwei's trust to move in River of Time alone and attack Fang Yuan, he naturally had ample strength. Right now, he erupted with his full strength, immediately blocking the giant time river wave and ensuring his safety, while also sending strong attacks towards Bai Ning Bing and the rest. Bai Ning Bing and the rest turned pale. They were trapped in the yellow dust and were unable to free themselves. Even the immemorial Year monkey struggled intensely, its growling showing its fear and panic. The might of the ripple of time was unpredictable, but its terror was well known. Even Feng Jiuge did not dare to easily come in contact with it, let alone Bai Ning Bing and the rest. He is forcing me to appear. Fang Yuan mumbled as he looked towards spectral souls beside him. He turned Bai Ning Bing and the rest into bait. It would be an enormous loss to him if he sacrificed them at this moment. However, among them was the split soul, Yingwu Xie, whom Fang Yuan had intentionally left behind. He was guarding against spectral souls just in case. Spectral souls laughed loudly. Don't worry, Fang Yuan. This stone lotus island was personally constructed by Red Lotus Demon Venerable. Although Lord Huangshi resisted the time river wave, the wave also contains the peerless killer moves of both Sword Path and Blade Path. Look, this was the most powerful offensive killer move of Dao Jiulang back then. Its name is 99 Reincarnation Blades. Once it is activated, it continues on endlessly. If a layer of the blade light is broken, there is another layer, with a total of 9 layers of blade lights. Every layer has the power to slaughter ghosts and deities. After the blade lights strike down, they will cycle back and attack again. A layer of blade light will attack for 9 times. Altogether, the 9 layers of blade light will attack for a total of 81 times. This move is extremely terrifying. Even Dao Jiulang only used it 3 times in his lifetime. Every time he used it, it would consume 100 years of his lifespan. And the move I am triggering right now is his pinnacle masterpiece used when fighting Shi Yuan. Shortly after Spectral Soul's Will's explanation, Fang Yuan saw 9 layers of blade light shooting out of the suppressed river of time wave. The blade lights were extremely radiant like fragments of the sun. It was so bright that even Fang Yuan, who was watching it through an image, felt piercing pain in his eyes and had to squint. Even outside of the battlefield he reacted like this. It was unimaginable what the immortals who were in the battlefield felt. Seeing these blade lights, Lord Huangshi's expression changed rapidly to that of horror and despair. He felt an intense threat to his life from these 9 layers of blade light. This was no joke. If Dao Jiulang was born in Central Continent, he could absolutely join Heavenly Court. He was a Blade Path legend who stood at the peak of Western Desert. He was an influential rank 8 figure. This attack was his greatest display of power. It was the killer move he had used in his deathmatch with Shi Yuan. Lord Huangshi was extremely terror-stricken. He did not care anymore about the river wave, the immemorial year monkey, or Bai Ning Bing. He shouted with all his strength as he used his hidden trump card to defend himself. Bam, bam, bam. Huge explosions sounded continuously as layers of blade light bombarded on his body. The dazzling blade lights continued to strike layer after layer, encircling and slashing at the pitiful Lord Huangshi, while interweaving together into a large ball of scorching white light. In the center of this light ball, Lord Huangshi was curled up in the large yellow rock above his head, defending with all his might. The blade light's bombardment lasted for a while before they gradually dissipated. The large rock around Lord Huangshi had disappeared. He looked extremely haggard with no color on his face. There were even large injuries on his body that spread throughout his chest and back. There was no blood flowing out from the injuries, but this instead signified the miserable situation, because the injuries were filled with blade path down marks, which were continuously emitting blade chi that invaded Lord Huangshi's organs. Ha! Look, he is finished. Spectral souls will laugh heartily. Now, take this move. Spectral souls will furrow its brows while moving its hands. This move is Shi Yuan's main trump card. Ha! I don't believe you can survive this. Saying this, a powerful sword chi started to slowly rise from the giant river of time wave. This sword chi was deep and powerful, its depths unfathomable, and it carried an unmatchable might that could bury countless living beings. Lord Huangshi's pupils shrunk to pin size. Only one thought emerged in his mind: run. But he found he was locked on by this sword chi and was unable to budge from his position. This is Shi Yuan's signature killer move, Sword Burial Abyss. Damn it, damn it. Lord Huangshi's heart thumped wildly and panicked. He had used up all his methods in resisting 99 reincarnation blades. He was in an extremely weak state right now, with his defenses falling to almost zero. Am I going to perish here? Lord Huangshi felt a strong sense of death. Right at this time, spectral souls will called out in the Stone Lotus Island. Not good. The Stone Lotus Island cannot endure this burden. If we insist on killing Lord Huangshi, this Stone Lotus Island's foundation will be used up. If we let go of Huangshi, it can still last for a few years. Kill him. Fang Yuan's gaze shined eerily as he spat out these two words without any hesitation. Understood. Spectral souls will acknowledged and stopped speaking. Lord Huangshi struggled bitterly, but was unable to get rid of the shackles of the sword chi. His expression had turned savage and frightening as he roared. Who could have thought I, the Grand Huangshi, would actually die here? My sacrifice is not important, but I have let Heavenly Court's plan fail, letting this otherworldly demon Fang Yuan continue to roam free. I am not reconciled. I am not resigned. Lord Huangshi roared repeatedly, but his voice suddenly came to a stop. His life force completely dissipated. That sword chi was like a legendary beast in the dark, swallowing his life force completely. Lord Huangshi, a rank 8-time path Heavenly Court Gu immortal, was dead. Chapter 1435, Spectral Souls, True Inheritance. Chapter 1435, Spectral Souls, True Inheritance. A moment later, Bai Ningbing and the rest brought Huangshi's corpse to Fang Yuan. Spectral souls will gazed at the corpse inside. This person was also an amazing character, a genius when he was young and became a famous expert as he grew. His name had spread throughout Central Continent and the 5 regions. Now, he has perished in this place. Fang Yuan and the rest were silent. Spectral souls will control this Stone Lotus Island and watch the past and present. It knew of many secrets. This was the power of Red Lotus Time Path True Inheritance, able to gain information through the River of Time. When Spectral Soul Demon Venerable had obtained this inheritance back then, he had praised it as inconceivable and acknowledged the superiority of Red Lotus Demon Venerable's time path methods to T rank 8. All Gu immortals would touch upon other paths. Rank 9 Venerables were even more so, with extremely comprehensive abilities. Spectral Soul Demon Venerable's own time path methods could compare to rank 8 time path Gu immortals, but he was far inferior when compared to Red Lotus Demon Venerable. Each rank 9 had their respective specializations. They had their own areas of expertise with their specific strengths. If Red Lotus Demon Venerable compared his soul path attainment with Spectral Soul Demon Venerable, it would be Red Lotus Demon Venerable's turn to be in great awe. Gurgle, gurgle. The water of the River of Time gushed out from below Fang Yuan and the rest. The Stone Lotus Island was beginning to crumble, but only 1 or 2 areas were collapsing. The whole created was the size of a teacup. Spectral souls will stiffen before sighing. After a while, this Stone Lotus Island will be completely destroyed. We don't have much time left. Red Lotus Demon Venerable had arranged all his 7 true inheritances on Stone Lotus Islands, which were located at different areas of the River of Time. After Spectral Soul Demon Venerable obtained this Stone Lotus Island, He remodeled it to become the greatest information channel of Shadow Sect. Not only this, Shadow Sect were able to use the power of Red Lotus True Inheritance multiple times, and recently, they had used it to let Spring Autumn Cicada activate smoothly, as well as to helping Wuxie and Purple Mountain True Monarch. The Stone Lotus Island's foundation had already been close to drying up, and it had further exhausted all its power to kill the Time Path expert Huang Shi in the battle earlier. It was crumbling apart now. Where there are gains, there are losses. Fang Yuan sighed. Although we lost this Stone Lotus Island, being able to cause the death of Lord Huang Shi is a huge gain. This person has outstanding battle strength, and is like a fish in water inside the river of time. If we had let go of this perfect opportunity, even if we lay in ambush again, we probably wouldn't have another chance to kill him. The group of immortals nodded in agreement to Fang Yuan's decision. In fact, even Spectral Souls was not an exception. It looked at Fang Yuan and nodded. In the battle of the giant dream realm, Purple's choice at the last moment was correct. Fang Yuan, I have to admit you have already become the final chance my Shadow Sect has. The great task of saving our main body is yours now. Naturally, this will depend on your decision. Even if you are bent on eliminating our main body, we won't blame you. All of the Gu immortals present were visibly moved at these words. Ing Wuxie's expression changed. He opened his mouth several times, but was not able to let out any words. Who could have thought of this situation? Right now, between Shadow Sect and Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan held the complete initiative. He was indeed the last hope of Shadow Sect. Even if it was presumed they invaded Heavenly Court in the future, whether he saved Spectral Soul's main body or not was completely up to Fang Yuan. The words of Spectral Souls had the feeling of helplessness and a last resort. It was precisely because he knew the most information. He had a clear understanding of the situation. When Fang Yuan entered Red Lotus True Inheritance, Spectral Souls created no obstructions or difficulties, and even completely coordinated with Fang Yuan when killing Lord Huang Shi. Fang Yuan glanced at the immortals before replying to Spectral Soul's will. You can rest assured. Heavenly Court is an enormous force. You and I are natural allies. I will definitely help if I can. Spectral Souls nodded. I believe you. Shortly, he smiled. We are not allies, but a collective force. You are currently the leader of Shadow Sect, appointed by Purple, and have received the approval of the various split souls. Even if you meet our main body in the future, he will also definitely agree. Because we are him, our decision is his decision. All right, I am going to pass on all my main body's soul path true inheritance along with other things to you. Fang Yuan nodded and used a wisdom path method to send out a lump of self-will. The large sphere-like self-will charged at Spectral Soul's will. Spectral Soul's will did not evade, allowing the self-will to merge with it. Information exchange between wills was extremely fast, and after a few breaths of time, Fang Yuan's self-will returned and entered Fang Yuan's mind. Instantly, an unimaginable amount of information assaulted Fang Yuan's mind. Fang Yuan closed his eyes, accepting all the information. In an orderly way, he was a wisdom path grandmaster who could not be compared to ordinary Gu immortals. Right now, his expression was calm. Among all the information, the most valuable was no doubt Spectral Soul's true inheritance. This was the most comprehensive cultivation content created by Spectral Soul Demon Venerable. Fang Yuan's mind shook with just a slight look at some of its contents, inwardly praising Spectral Soul Demon Venerable, who created this true inheritance. Undoubtedly, in the whole world and the long history of humans, no, since time immemorial, this was one of the most valuable true inheritances since ancient times until now. Only 10 venerables had appeared in this world. Spectral Soul Demon Venerable was one of them. This true inheritance of Spectral Soul that Fang Yuan obtained was comprehensive. As long as he cultivated according to it, he could approach the heights that Spectral Soul Demon Venerable had once reached. Speaking of which, Fang Yuan had connections to quite a few venerables. Spring Autumn Cicada was the earliest to end up in Fang Yuan's hands. It was the most crucial key to Red Lotus true inheritances, but until now, Fang Yuan had only inherited one of the 7 true inheritances of Red Lotus. Moreover, although the inner contents were complete, Red Lotus true meaning had already been absorbed by Spectral Soul Demon Venerable. giant son immortal venerable, had 3 true inheritances. Fang Yuan had obtained the essence of self-luck true inheritance from Langya's sect, and some contents of all living beings' luck from 88 true Yang building and Mahong Yun. But it was not as much as the rumor said that of thieving heaven's true inheritances. Fang Yuan had only inherited ghostly concealment, while divine concealment was taken by Zhao Lianyun. To think that the most complete venerable true inheritance that I obtained was spectral soul's true inheritance originating from my former great enemy. Unfortunately, my soul path attainment is not enough, and cultivating soul path would require a huge amount of time, energy, and resources. Among these, soul path has the most terrifying requirement for resources. Spectral soul demon venerable had once massacred countless living beings for his cultivation. If I were to repeat his way, I would also need to slaughter countless living beings. Otherwise, I simply would not be able to satisfy the resource requirements for my soul path cultivation. Second to spectral soul's true inheritance was red lotus true inheritance. Although the true meaning of red lotus in this stone lotus island was already absorbed by spectral soul to raise his time path attainment, its true inheritance contents were handed down. The most important contents of this inheritance were the immortal goo recipes of spring autumn cicada. Not just rank 6 immortal goo recipes. There were recipes of rank 7, rank 8, and even rank 9. This meant Fang Yuan now had the entire set of immortal goo recipes for spring autumn cicada from rank 6 to rank 9. There was a huge amount of content in this set of immortal goo recipes, amounting to several hundreds of thousands of words. Merely the rank 6 spring autumn cicada immortal goo recipes totaled to 17 or 18. The recipe Fang Yuan had obtained in his first life of 500 years was only one of them. Rank 7 immortal goo recipes were even more numerous, reaching 86. Rank 8 immortal goo recipes totaled to 43. And there were 3 rank 9 immortal goo recipes. An additional immortal goo recipe meant a new method to refine spring autumn cicada. As far as Fang Yuan was concerned, this would definitely be a huge help. Later on, when he refined spring autumn cicada, he would not only have many more choices, but could also be more flexible in his methods. To think Red Lotus Demon Venerable had researched so deeply about spring autumn cicada. So it is true that spring autumn cicada was Red Lotus Demon Venerable's vital immortal goo. Fang Yuan naturally wanted to advance spring autumn cicada. He was deeply aware of spring autumn cicada's power, and would absolutely not let go of this trump card that could overturn the situation. Besides Spectral Soul's true inheritance and Red Lotus true inheritance, there were also large numbers of other true inheritances. Some of these inheritances were incomplete, while some were perfectly intact. This was the collection of Spectral Soul Demon Venerable when he was alive, and the continual gathering by Shadow Sect throughout 100,000 years. Now, all of these belonged to Fang Yuan. Although Purple Mountain True Monarch's legacy was also abundant, he was only one of the split souls in the end. The content he grasped was not even 1/100th of the total amount here, especially because there was also the Rule Path True Inheritance of Limitless Demon Venerable and a Formation Path True Inheritance of Paradise Earth Immortal Venerable, which were not in Purple Mountain True Monarch's inheritance. The value of all these contents was so high that it could not be estimated. As long as Fang Yuan had sufficient time and resources, Fang Yuan was confident he could use these contents to create an organization that was not weaker than Heavenly Court. Fang Yuan's gains had reached an unimaginable amount such that even he himself was shaken. The frightening advantage of being the leader of Shadow Sect had finally been shown. Spectral Souls will spoke once again. Sect leader Fang Yuan, you have now completely inherited Shadow Sect. Unfortunately, although there are a lot of true inheritances, you would need an unimaginable amount of time, energy, and resources to cultivate them. And right now, what we lack the most is time, and there is also a huge scarcity of resources. Our main body had once successfully defied heaven, hiding from Heavenly Court, and delaying the Great Era by nearly 500 years. But now, our main body has failed. Everything has returned to its original path. Approximately 10 years later, the Great Era will completely descend. The 5 regions will merge, which will definitely result in the largest chaotic war in history. And among the 5 regions, Central Continent's foundation is the deepest with the most amount of Gu masters and Gu immortals. Furthermore, they also have a unified leader, Heavenly Court. This is something none of the other 4 regions have. Whether it be Eastern Sea, Western Desert, Southern Border, or Northern Plains, they are all controlled by independent superforces and are disunited. Northern Plains does have longevity heaven, so their situation will be slightly better, but when compared to Central Continent's Heavenly Court, their influence in the whole region is significantly lacking. And the most terrifying thing about Heavenly Court is their control of rank 9 Fate Immortal Gu. This Gu has extremely terrifying might. The reason why Star Constellation Immortal Venerable was able to make arrangements that could resist 3 demon venerables after her death was mostly because of the power of this Gu. The 3 great demon venerables are all within the confines of fate. This was already decided upon their birth and cannot be changed. Only an otherworldly demon is not restrained by the shackles of fate Immortal Gu. Fang Yuan, you are a complete otherworldly demon, and thus the greatest hope in destroying fate Immortal Gu. In fact, you are the inheritor that Red Lotus Demon Venerable had been most anticipating. 10 years. You only have 10 years. Fang Yuan, don't let Heavenly Court restore fate Immortal Gu. Otherwise, Heavenly Court will become invincible. Even if the 4 regions attack it together, they will not be able to bring it down. If that happens, there will be no hope of invading Heavenly Court and rescuing our main body. You don't have much time, Fang Yuan.